Arbitrarians. Welcome to another episode of the Arbitrarium a la carte. Today we've got a bit of a special question. We're asking, were the president's actions A, ultra brave, or B, foolhardy?
Ultra brave.
You think so? Now,
Foolhardy.
Well, we've already got a little bit of contention here. I mean, I'm a little on the fence on this one, so maybe we can have a discussion between the two of you, and I'll find a space here.
Okay. First off, that pumpkin needed to be dealt with. It was sitting out there, and it was really just ruining everything. So him walking up and kicking the pumpkin, I don't know why people are so upset about it. I think it was an act of bravery.
Well, I think it put the Secret Service at risk because they didn't plan that. I mean, they planned these things out, and that pumpkin was really a wrench in the whole system here, especially when we're dealing with the president who has behaved as this one has since the inauguration, right? I mean, this is a man we could probably all agree is relatively unpredictable.
I would say that it was foolhardy. You have no idea what kind of work. You have no idea what a pumpkin seeds and a pumpkin patch is going to do to the security of the White House.
And nobody knew who put the pumpkin there. I mean, there were protesters there that were in support of the pumpkin.
I don't believe that. You're talking about the White House, one of the most heavily secure places, and they don't have CCTV footage of this. The Secret Service knew. And as far as the Secret Service, being at risk, it's their job. That's what they are hired for, to put themselves at risk to protect the office of the presidency. That being said, the president is still the top executive, right? Mm. So there are certain situations in which, yes, the Secret Service should step in. This isn't one of them. He needed to do what he needed to do.
There was some. So you're saying that
our country deserves the respect of this.
Right. He needed to be able to exercise some of his own agency, right?
Right.
Okay,
he needed
fair
to.
Enough.
The protesters had a right to be there, and they were correct in their actions. That pumpkin did not need to be kicked. That should have been dealt. That should have been handed to someone else. The president should not lower himself to actually kicking a pumpkin off of the porch.
Well, it's not like it's not like the executive branch has designated pumpkin kickers.
And it wasn't on the porch, man.
If anything,
was there a second pumpkin?
There might have been. I mean, it might be too early to tell. I mean, we know that this pumpkin. Now we do, of course.
We know there was a pumpkin on the grassy knoll.
Pose a threat. We don't know about that one. I've not heard of this pumpkin on the grassy knoll.
It's the one in the grass that I'm aware of. I didn't know there was one on the porch. Is there one on the porch?
The grass is the one I was made aware of too. Again, because it was a bit of a distance out there, which is why it was such a strange action for the president to take.
We don't know if the president or anyone on his staff might have an allergy to pumpkin. That could have endangered people.
If they ate it.
I think the president would know if he had an allergy to pumpkin.
Pumpkin shrapnel is not something to joke about.
You don't have a pumpkin allergy and run at a pumpkin like that. I'm pretty sure he didn't have...
Well, no, I don't know. We're missing an angle here. I mean, it's possible that the president has some kind of pumpkin phobia, and this was a his way of voluntarily exposing himself to this particular pumpkin.
Then I'm going to double down on Ultra Brave. To have that phobia and still run at the pumpkin with that amount of energy...
It's still
come on.
Conjecture, though.
He was putting his staff at risk because they didn't put that pumpkin there. They might not have known, oh shit, there's a pumpkin over here, I should not be in this area, and then he just fucking kicked it.
Well, there is a theory out there, and some are calling it a conspiracy theory.
It's a hypothesis at best.
That it was, in fact, one of the protesters who were there that placed the pumpkin to begin with. Now, I don't know if we have any real hard evidence about that. I'm only really kind of hearing that in hashtags on Twitter.
Let me check that.
Well, to be honest, it could have been an incognito jack-o'-lantern. It might have set the president on fire.
I don't remember. I mean, the pictures I've seen, it didn't have a face carved into it. And we're well past Halloween.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, this is according to USA Today. It was one of the women protesters who placed the pumpkin.
Okay, what are they saying about that particular protester then? Do we have a motive?
We don't have a name or a motive. They're still trying to search out. She had a mask on.
Does she have is there a photo? Can I see it?
Yeah, here you go. Hold on. Got to pull it back up.
Right. I think I know who's behind this.
Right there.
Okay, well, I mean,
right.
it's a pretty convincing... I mean, it's a mask. It's not an actual pumpkin.
No, it's a pumpkin rights activist, obviously. I mean, she clearly has strong emotions about that particular gourd, and does not want them used as decorations
She's
anymore.
fairly scantily clad for... I mean, she's wearing almost nothing but a pumpkin.
It was summer. Man, we've been to D.C. It can get pretty hot out there.
I mean, my suspicion is that she came over from the Gordello.
I'm not going to lie. I'd put some cream on that pumpkin pie.
You always go there.
Yes, I do. You know I'm disgusting.
Yeah,
You
well,
know I'm disgusting.
Always with the pumpkins.
Well, either way, I'm worrying about... if I can borrow your phone for a second again. Okay. Well, one of the protesters there, I could see a very clear picture of their face. They had nictating membranes.
Nictating... I'm not sure what that is.
What reptiles have.
Oh, the eye thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that would...
I'm not buying that.
No. If you look at the video in the GIF, or GIF if you prefer, because you're weird.
That is the weirdest I've heard. Never heard that one.
That's just a trick of the camera. That's not an actual nictitating membrane.
Yeah.
And the camera adds several layers of skin to the eye.
You are denying the reptilian genocide.
I feel like you're getting a little bit too deep into the conspiracy theories here, pal.
You have no evidence for this. Can we get back to the topic at hand?
Everyone says
of the pumpkin, the president, and the pumpkin girl.
I think they
it's all
knew.
connected. I think.
I mean, I would wager that they probably. Well, I want to say that they knew each other, but I don't know that as a matter of fact. But
she looks a little old to go to college with him.
Oddly specific, right? It seems oddly specific that this woman who was dressed scantily with a pumpkin face would have planted something like that on the White House, and that's not even really the weird part. This could have been some kind of psychopath or sociopath or whatever, some crazy person
Or a psyop.
But then the president reacted the way that he did, and that's not the reaction of someone who has no connection to that pumpkin.
Foolhardy, he is prejudiced against pumpkins. He despises them. Why would you run up and kick something that's just standing there?
Well, it was laying on the ground.
And that'd be the groundskeeper's issue.
Yeah, but I mean...
Where was the groundskeeper during all this?
Yeah.
He was being moved to the East Wing for his own protection.
Oh, that was to take care of the asparagus incident.
Well, no, that was... I mean, the asparagus incident, it might be connected.
I would actually say in that case, with the entire thing with the asparagus, yes, the president was ultra brave.
Well, it was, these people were protesting for pumpkin rights, and then you look at the groundskeeper who routinely shears plants. They were more angry at the groundskeeper than they were at the president.
I mean, that's fair enough.
So that's why he was being moved, and the president was trying to calm everything down. But
I mean, you didn't
By
see any
kicking a pumpkin?
Oh, you didn't see any protesters out, trying to defend the asparagus. Like that never happened.
Oh God.
Well, I mean,
so what's the real motivation here?
I think it's because asparagus makes your pee smell weird, and they didn't like that.
I mean, I'm mostly anosmic, so I don't know, but I mean, I guess that's a fair enough point. It seems superficial still, though. It's like just because something offends your sensibilities doesn't mean it doesn't have rights.
I would not be surprised if quite a few of these protesters were paid to be there.
No.
So half of the people over there, this reeks of political theater.
Okay, you call me a conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorist for bringing up
The reptilians.
Yeah, you're talking about the reptilians, all right? That's insane. We're talking about
persecuted minority.
You see, but it's begging the question. You're begging the question. You're assuming that these things exist in order to make an argument about them being victims. So it's a non-starter. It's a non-starter. It's conspiracy theory bullshit. And then we really need to get back to the asparagus. Because you said that you thought it's not inconceivable to you that those protesters could have been paid to be there, and I didn't really consider that until now. But if you think about the fact that the asparagus was there and there was nobody protesting that, they were all protesting the pumpkins. I I mean, I could make the connection that the Asparagus Council was behind this protest.
So it's like a psyop to, promote asparagus?
Then again, it could also have been the pumpkin, the Pumpkin Council to victimize the pumpkin. I mean, it's hard to say.
And this time of year, right? I mean...
Well, we're post Halloween, so the pumpkin starts to sort of fade out.
I don't know. I think the pumpkin retains...
up through
retains its power through Christmas.
Well, the smell, yeah.
I mean... Because you think pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, but have you been to... You've probably been to more Christmas parties that had pumpkin pie than didn't have pumpkin
that's
pie.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Typically, it's left over from Thanksgiving, but it's still there.
Yeah, and then the people that buy the candles, like the candles that are supposed to be fall and winter, there's always that
and it's
sort
the pumpkin
of spice.
It's pumpkin spice
Yeah.
time.
Okay, we both know that what goes into pumpkin pie is rarely actually pumpkin. You're in the hands of big butternut squash.
Is it butternut squash?
Yes, he is 100% correct on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because it's sweeter? I mean, what's the...
No, it's because it's cheaper.
It actually blends into a more homogeneous mix.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got to really, really roast and smash pumpkin to get him. And it's got to be a special kind of pumpkin to make pumpkin pie out of.
Yeah.
And this was the pumpkin that was kicked was just a regular run-of-the-mill pumpkin.
Well, yeah, I mean, they said they picked it up at, Publix or some shit like that?
I think it was a Costco in Virginia.
Okay, it makes more sense.
I heard it was
according
actually...
to its serial number.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I heard it was actually an heirloom pumpkin, and that was someone's hard work that the president just punted.
Why would they use an heirloom pumpkin
But
for
the
that?
serial number on it clearly came from a Costco.
Oh, yeah, we've already got proof of where
Or
it
the
came from.
cloning facility it was at.
How hard is it to put a fake serial number or a duplicate serial number on one pumpkin from the other?
One pumpkin? Oh,
From the
man.
other. I mean, it's an organic material, so I can't imagine it's that difficult.
There are so many regulations that go into this. I mean, the Pumpkin Act of 1821 clearly prohibits replication of pumpkin serial numbers.
Well, yeah, but I mean, these people are already
and this
breaking
was
the law anyway.
This was 1821. I mean, that...
They trespass on
You were
the
at
White
least
House.
getting tarred and feathered. I think the worst one is being hung up by your toes.
Okay, well, but they're still. I mean, they're breaking the law anyway. They trespassed on the White House lawn to place this pumpkin. So I mean, it's not really. It's not inconceivable that they would have duplicated.
And they
a
were
serial
masked.
number.
It's hard to do. I mean, all the laser etching places around here, they won't do it. At least the ones that I know about, the people I've talked to, I've asked, hey, what about pumpkins? And they're like, nope, we don't touch that.
Oh yeah, but I mean, your little everyday podunk pumpkin carver might.
Near D.C.? I mean, come on.
There's
Well,
not
when
really
I
a lot
looked
of,
into it, there was
Yeah, but you're right next to Virginia.
a lot of the pumpkin plantations that have formed up. They really revolve around some. They've been infiltrated by anarcho-authoritarians, which they're a weird bunch. They will literally say, "Do what you want or taste my baton."
That's... I mean, I could see those people trying to put the serial number on a pumpkin.
Yeah. And also placing that pumpkin while trying to frame pumpkin activists. So it's a false flag operation.
I mean, to
all
me,
the way.
it seems relatively. I mean, I would think that what probably happened in that situation is that whoever did the carving of this duplicate serial number probably didn't want to know why they were doing it, and took the money.
That is always a
Take the money, don't
Plausible
ask
deniability.
questions.
Always a possibility, but it's still the president who stepped in it.
I mean, the question there though is, did they buy the pumpkin from the Costco? What happened to that pumpkin if it wasn't the one taken from Costco? Because we know that one's missing from the inventory.
Well,
They've been
that's
looking
true.
for a week.
Yeah,
so-
I think this boils down to the simplest solution.
Right.
they sent out bounty hunters for it.
Probably
I
the
know.
correct one.
I interviewed one.
You interviewed one of the bounty hunters
Yeah.
for the pumpkin.
Yes.
How the hell did you get that kind of access?
You have no idea the discords I'm on, man.
Fair enough, I guess. How did you know that it was actually him or her?
Dick pic.
That raises further questions.
The point is,
You would have had to have known what the person's dick looked like before you got the pic.
you don't know why to do on weekends.
I think you're full of shit.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that. You didn't interview no bounty hunter.
No. No pumpkin bounty hunter.
Okay, at best or at worst, I've been spoofed, And I've done some things I will not be proud of. However, I still...
You will not... You're still proud of them, but you won't be later?
You don't know what I do on the weekends. Either way, I still believe the president should have left it to the congressional pumpkin kickers. They're an actual thing.
The National Pumpkin Kickers Association?
Yeah.
Those people take forever to act.
I used to be on board with those people, but, I mean, over the last few years, they've gotten pretty political.
I think the pumpkin checkers of America are much better.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're learning from the mistakes of the pumpkin kickers.
Yeah, I mean, you had...
which are many.
You had Bruce Vincennes, who charged the whole... National Pumpkin Kickers, and then he's blatantly found just embezzling money from people who donated in good faith to the organization, and he's going off on safari gardening trips.
I mean,
in
he's
Africa.
been taking money from the homeowners association because I mean that was why the whole damn thing started, right? I mean, it was to keep people able to leave their pumpkins on their porch or on their lawn as long as they wanted to without being harassed by the homeowners association.
Yeah, and without the local kids running up and kicking them.
Right. But
Which,
I mean,
granted, the optics on that particular point with the president look bad, but
yeah, I mean it does give him a fairly poor alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was foolhardy. It wasn't. He's not licensed. He isn't recognized by either organization. He shouldn't have been even, within 10 feet of that pumpkin.
He was probably just pandering.
The president is also not in the Major League Baseball team, but he's allowed to throw the first pitch of every season.
That's true.
He's the president. He gets some executive privilege on certain things, and I think kicking pumpkins, while a little unheard of in American tradition, I think that falls within the purview of the executive.
The more I think about this, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a case of mistaken incidents where, he saw the pumpkin and he was pandering in the kicking of the pumpkin. Like, he didn't know where it came from. Mm-hmm. The more I think about it, he probably didn't know where it came from. I mean, the kicking of the pumpkin was pandering to the organization that he'd probably been taking kickbacks from. I mean, now that's a conspiracy, but it's a more believable conspiracy. At the very least,
it's plausible.
It's more reasonable.
I'll give it. It's plausible, but that is one serious accusation against the president.
Consider the fact that this what's the word I'm looking for? This administration has pardoned turkeys with a high recidivism rate. All right, they just go right back to doing what they did before.
Well, we don't really need to because we're going to get into a whole other issue of protesters when it comes to wrongful imprisonment with turkeys. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, man. That is a topic for another podcast.
Yeah, were they targeted were they species profiled?
Well, either way, there's an automatic revolution they're trying to form.
If you look at it per capita, turkeys offend at the same rate as ducks and chickens.
But not as geese. We can all agree that geese are actually a societal threat and need to be exterminated.
Which is why there are no protesters that are like, oh, save the geese, save the geese. I mean,
they're Canadian geese. They have diplomatic immunity. That's why we can't persecute them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought diplomatic, I mean, they're not diplomats. They came here to kill people.
Next thing you know...
So far as I can tell.
I mean, I was out a few days ago. The geese were in the parking lot. It was like, they're swarming around this one business. Next thing I know, all they're selling is poutine.
They were there 1 minute, and the next, West Side Story man snapping down the street.
Honking down the street. Either way.
They are actually recognized as the Canadian ambassador's retinue. Notice he migrates the same time they do.
Yeah.
That's true.
I guess. All right.
They don't have the full diplomatic immunity that an actual diplomat does, but they do have his families.
If they were to full on murk somebody,
it'd be a major international incident.
Yeah.
I think we would go to war over that.
On that we agree.
Yeah, the Turkey War.
Goose War.
Sorry, the Goose War.
It would be the Goose War.
It would be the Goose War.
We have to rely on our allies down in Australia to provide some emus to deal with it.
Are emus a natural predator of geese?
No, they'll just kick the shit out of them.
They're easily trained, though.
Emus?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Also, sexually attracted to humans.
All right.
I always drag things downward.
I was going to
You
suggest
really do.
that they hire an emu farmer, maybe, for the White House to deal with. Wait, we were talking. Oh, I'm sorry about the pumpkins. I'm sorry, and then I went to geese. Well, we went to D.C. and there was a problem with geese there as well. But
Either way, having trained emus to deal with the pumpkins would be a very good idea.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's sending in the snake to take care of the mice.
I think that actually would take care of the issue, though.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean, look at the leg muscles. Look at the leg muscles in an emu, man. I mean, they would easily make the benchmark for either organization of the pumpkin kickers of America, or the National Pumpkin Kickers, or the Pumpkin Checkers of America. Either way, they would easily be rated in their top tier. They're easily trained. Their poop is easily cleaned up and can be used as fertilizer in the garden. And if one of these pumpkins does end up being dangerous, we're only losing an emu, not a president or Secret Service agent.
Fair enough, but I think he said. I think the president has set a precedent. Right? I mean, now, I mean, we didn't really think about the alignments.
Precedent is what makes him foolhardy, especially.
Well, I think we hadn't considered this before this particular president. He's sort of chosen a side here now. This particular president being of the party that he is. Now they're going to be the pumpkin kickers, and everybody who supports this president, they're going to be pumpkin kickers now as well. They're going to be looking at that as this is you got to toe the party line, and now the next guy comes in if he's not if he's not of that party, and he's going to be the pumpkin chucker.
You really gotta toe the pumpkin.
Yeah, you got to toe the patch line.
I don't think this ever should have been politicized in such a way.
No, I mean it's fucking ridiculous to have an entire conversation about pumpkins.
I mean,
all I'm saying is sometimes the president can just be a man. And sometimes men do brave things, like charge potentially dangerous pumpkins.
Well, I guess we'll probably just have to see how this shakes out. But I'm telling you, I feel like it's going to polarize us. I think we're going to get split down the patch line. I think we really, really are.
I think once you become such a public official, you have to stop thinking just like a regular citizen. Because you have a great weight on your shoulders that might tumble off when you try to punt a pumpkin.
Well, he's not starting World War III.
No.
There's not going to be a civil war over this. This may divide us even more, true. But
well, oh God. What this is going to do between the line of people who prefer pumpkin to sweet potatoes, north-south, we might have the Civil War all over again just because he didn't punch.
It won't.
He didn't punt a sweet potato.
It won't ever get that bad.
I feel like we're sensationalizing the
Yeah.
Pumpkingate.
Yeah. On my part, that's probably not the right place to go. All I know is that I will have to contact the RDL. You know who the Reptilian Defamation League?
Oh, you're back on that again.
Oh, stop denying they exist.
Anyway,
like the Armenian genocide.
I feel like we're at a point now where we kind of need a little bit more information. There's still news coming out. They're going to have a press conference relatively soon in the White House garden. They've removed all the pumpkins just to be safe.
And the asparagus.
And they're keeping...
Actually, I think they removed all the plants from the garden.
Yeah, it's pretty much just dirt now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
It's just a trellis.
Yeah, it's just a trellis.
I'm pretty sure I saw Agent Orange being used, even though it's confirmed to be dangerous, and also kind of outdated as far as...
No, it's not Agent Orange. It's Agent Chartreuse now.
Oh, the one that smells like licorice.
Yeah, it's with a hint of garlic.
I feel like we're digressing from the topic
Yeah.
here, though. All right.
They will be holding a press conference. They're doing the final gardening now.
Yeah.
And of course, a wake for the pumpkin itself.
Yeah. So, we'll see how that all shakes out. I'm sure we're going to be hearing from, probably, for lack of a better word, surprise witnesses, and they're probably going to be full of shit. But we'll see.
We're going to hear from them, and I think there's going to be a response from the Senate Minority Leader.
There always is. So we'll see what they have to say about it.
Well, there's also what the Illuminati will come to.
God, stop with the conspiracies, man.
Anyway, we'll get the new information, and then we'll maybe try to have a follow-up episode on. I guess we're calling it Pumpkingate at this point, so we'll see. We'll see how, for lack of a better term.
Well,
So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Who do you think pays us?
Well, all right. Until next time, Arbitrarians.